What up, is Marcus? Yesterday we didn't do a video. My son was sick. Now I'm starting to get sick. It is a revolving door when you have a kid that goes to daycare. He's only about a year and a half old. And so this is what happens. And so we're going to do a video here today. We're going to do waiver wires because I figured this is an important thing. I can do a couple minutes of waiver wires because I'm feeling, yeah. And then Thursday, Friday, we'll try to do starts and sits of the week. We're going to go through 8+ players here. The number one pickup in my mind is running back Kenyon Drake, 10 for 119 and a touchdown. We don't know the severity of J.K. Dobbins' knee stiffness, tightness. And so is he going to be gone maybe next week? We don't know. This could be a multi-week injury. It could be just a 60, not even 60 minute, a half a game injury that J.K. Dobbins had. But still, Kenyon Drake, if Dobbins is out, then Kenyon Drake is the number one waiver wire pickup and really a good handcuff. We'll talk a little bit later about Gus Edwards as well as a potential option as he potentially is recovering and coming back soon. We have no idea when yet officially. So number two, this is a week that is not great when it comes to pickups. This really isn't. Latavius Murray, 15 for 66. Melvin Gordon seems to be benched. We don't know why. Mike Boone seems to be the basically third string. Latavius Murray, this could be his job to lose. So this could be a potential spot. If Dobbins is looking towards coming back, then Latavius Murray would be the number one pickup. And I am not spending more than, probably $10 on each of these running backs. And I'm not going to be burning a bunch of fab like I did for Kenneth Walker or anything like that, because these, again, are short-term probably players. Again, Latavius Murray, probably more long-term, could actually be a serviceable starter, like RB3 for the rest of the year, where Kenyon Drake is probably going to be more boom, but if J.K. Dobbins or Gus Edwards is back, then he's probably relatively shifted back into the backup role or receiving down running back. Number three, if you need a wide receiver, this is the best one. Rondale Moore, 23 targets in the last 3 games. They traded for Robbie Anderson, which I don't really have on this list because I think that Rondale Moore is going to be the more hyper-targeted, and DeAndre Hopkins is coming back. But they traded for Robbie Anderson for a reason. So Robbie Anderson is like a throw a dollar bid, but Rondale Moore is going to be a couple bucks here. 23 targets in the last 3 games. So if in PPR, he's going to be much more valuable because he's a short. He's one of those guys that's going to get 8 for 58 versus. In standard, that's 5.8 points. Half point, again, you're talking about that's 7.8. And then in PPR, it's 9.8. So no. I think I did that wrong. 8 for 58. No, that's 13.8 and then 9.8. Whatever it is. It's a lot more valuable in PPR if I can actually do my math right in my head. Number 4, and again, this is based off, Jonathan Taylor's health. But I think Deion Jackson, 10 receptions, 12 carries, 121 total yards. He was my late pickup. I picked him up in almost every league as almost just kind of this security blanket, as I liked him over Philip Lindsay. In fact, I was starting him in leagues over Travis Etienne and A.J. Dillon and Kareem Hunt because I really liked his opportunity there, and he had a great game. And so Deion Jackson is potentially going to be a third down running back. I don't know if Nyheim Hines is going to come back and take that position. Concussions are variable, and he is shown to be, I know he got injured and he left the game, which is something we do have to have a concern of, quad injury. So he was out of the game and towards the end there. And so we're really going to have to look at Deion Jackson as potentially that Nyheim Hines role if Nyheim Hines ends up not being a serviceable running back there. And Jonathan Taylor, he has to stay healthy too. I mean, this is one of those things that an ankle injury, if it's weak or if it does not get rehabbed to that 100% point, I was somebody that had to that taught people how to do rehab of ankles with my specific background. Then you can get a re-injury of that ankle and all of a sudden be out again for another week, 2 weeks. And if so, then Deion Jackson is going to be that running back 2 with running back 1 upside if he's going to get the full workload like he did last week. Even if Nyheim Hines is there, I still think that, I'd rather have Deion Jackson than Nyheim Hines. Another running back, number 5, Huntley, 16 for 59. Now, I know Tyler Algier was there, had pretty much the same kind of workload. And Cordell Patterson is coming back in a couple of weeks, so that is just showing how thin. But if you're looking at a running back fill-in with some of these bye weeks coming up or an injury, and you're desperate, Huntley is potentially a serviceable route. Wan'Dale Robinson, I don't like the Giants' passing game, but if you're desperate, this option, 3 for 4, 37 yards, so 3 out of 4. He had 4 targets, 3 receptions for 37 and a touchdown. Maybe gets more involved in the offense. Kadarius Toney, Kenny Golladay, non-existent. And Darius Slayton had a lot of snaps and routes to run, so he is probably going to be the more safety wide receiver there. But I think Wan'Dale Robinson has that kind of rookie upside, second round pick, that you could see him being that short dump off guy, kind of being the the Rondale Moore. Wan'Dale and Rondale. Man, try to say that 10 times fast. The next wide receiver is going to be number 7. It's going to be Alec Pierce. He caught 3 of 7 targets for 49 and 1. And the only reason why he isn't higher is the Colts offense is a mess. Jonathan Taylor is coming back. But Perry Campbell outsnapped him, outran him basically the entire game. And so that just is concerning. He did have the touchdown to save the day. Alec Pierce, again, another good draft pick. And so potentially will be involved more in the offense, but we'll see. Last one, tight end, Greg Dulcich, 2 for 3, 44 and 1. I mean, if Tanyan's out or if he's not available, or Noah Fant or anything, I mean, really, this is just, again, somebody that maybe not used now, but down the road, if he is the tight end that they use instead of Albert Vo or anybody else in the Denver offense, if they actually start using a tight end, Greg Dulcich could be a surprise back half of the year. Again, more of a stash. Just look at your waivers to see if Gus Edwards is there. DeAndre Hopkins, of course, if he's there, or even potentially if you're a good team and they're a bad team that has him, this is a good time to start trading for some of these injured or suspended players. Gus Edwards is, again, another player that you could probably give little for if it's especially a losing team that has him, and acquire him. I do that all the time, and all of a sudden it's like, yeah, I might lose a week or two in the middle of the season because I don't have the full depth. But then all of a sudden we get towards playoff time and it's like, well, how'd you get all these pieces? And it's like, well, I bid low on Fab, or I started acquiring these players when I was 4-2, 5-1. And yeah, I lost a week or two there, but my team is going to be better for the long run. Again, we play a week-to-week basis, but we are going for playoffs and championships. That is what we're going for. All right? This is Marcus with Dynasty with us. See ya Thursday.